right, I think let's get started. Just rolled past the hour here. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you're calling in from and joining us. And welcome to any new attendees if this is your first time joining us for Performance Analytics Office Hours. My name is Tom Pasek. I'm a Senior Technical Product Marketing Manager here, working with our Performance Analytics team at ServiceNow. I'm going to take a minute here just to run through some logistical things, and then we'll get into the more interesting content for today's session. So first of all, if you're new, keep in mind these sessions are for you, our customers, and our partners to get the help that you need. So feel free to just listen in and soak up the knowledge here if you'd like, but keep in mind this is also your opportunity for Q&A, so to get your questions answered. We're trying to provide this space so you can get the help you need. Obviously, we can't get too deep into the specifics with everyone's particular instance. So there may be cases, if we can't quickly answer a question or solve an issue you have going on, we might ask you to raise an incident on high, and we'll follow up with you offline and get that sorted out. You do have the ability to go off mute and ask questions, but if you're not trying to speak, we're going to ask that you please stay muted so you don't disrupt the presenters or some of the other folks asking questions. If you feel more comfortable, you can also use the text-based chat in Zoom to ask your questions. We've got a few folks that will be monitoring those texts there and trying to answer the questions as we go along. And if we can't get to them in real time there, we'll circle back at the end and try and go through any that are still outstanding. And then last point here, if you haven't noticed the blinking recording indicator on your screen, these sessions are being recorded. So if that's not something that you're comfortable with, or your organization isn't comfortable with, we're gonna ask that you please disconnect now. The recordings will be posted to the Performance Analytics community after each of these sessions. And then last thing for me, I wanted to remind everyone, coming up in just a few weeks now, which reminds me we still have a lot to do, is the Knowledge 2019 conference in Las Vegas. Would love to see you there. Registration is still open if you'd like to claim a spot. I have a few slides here. I'm going to kind of quickly scan through them, but just to give you a preview of some of the performance analytics content that we have going on each day. So there's a mixture of labs that we're putting on various performance analytics topics or reporting topics for a few different levels of expertise. And then there's also breakout sessions that different performance analytics customers will be presenting and kind of sharing their story and some of the challenges they have faced, how they overcome that or overcame that in their own organization, and how they're using performance analytics to improve their internal operations. So that's Tuesday's schedule. Wednesday's a little busier with breakout sessions. Again, we have a few more labs going on. All the way at the bottom there, I'll point out, is one of my favorite ones that I saw last year. It's at the higher end of the technical expertise level, but visualizing the hierarchical data in performance analytics. That's a really well done lab that goes through the different ways to set up and apply breakdowns to your data. And then thumbing through, we're starting to see a few of these sessions are repeated, the more popular ones. So that's what the little R indicator is on the lab titles there. So again, each day there's a mix depending on whether you are interested in performance analytics or just pure reporting concepts we cover in the labs as well. So hopefully that looks interesting, and hope to see you in a couple of weeks in Vegas with us. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Isaac for the rest of today's session. I believe we're going to be focusing on a few different ways to look at extracting the top number of records with some of your indicators. So over to you, Isaac.
Thank you very much, Tom. Hello, everyone. Good morning, and thank you for joining Performance Analytics Office Hours. My name is Isaac Papagiannidis. I'm an outbound product manager, and I am going to describe a bit how, well, actually throughout the last sessions, I received quite a lot of questions regarding top X number of records. How can we retrieve them and how can we visualize them? So most of the people, what they have in their mind and what is that, well, they don't care about the rest of the records. They care about a small subset of them, the top 3, the top 5, or the top 10 records. So as you can see here, what I did, I created a quick dashboard here with a few widgets. So looking at the number of open incidents, then on the right side, we have the trend of the number of open incidents. And here at the bottom, I have a breakdown widget, which is based on the same indicator, the number of open incidents. And as you can see here, I can see only the three top elements, the three top assignment groups. And at the bottom, I have the total value of the indicator. So most of the people, what they need to do is just use this type, the breakdown widget, to be able to visualize the top X number of records. Now, going a bit into the details of the widget, if I edit the widget, as I said earlier, it's a breakdown widget. The visualization is scorecard. And then we have multiple options here in which, well, how do you want to order? You want to sort on value, name, change percentage. But at the same time, you can, first of all, I'll go here to the breakdown settings. You can specify the number of elements that you would like to see. So if you want 10, you just set it to 10 and you see the number of 10. So if you want 50, and of course the page needs to be split, then yeah, you have to specify how many pages you want. But usually people want to have on the dashboard an easy way to see the top X. So it's always better to have them visually in front of you without forcing the user to go to the next page or previous page. As you can see, there are some more options here if you want to see the percentage of the elements based on the value or not. And there is also another option here, the show breakdown selector, which is pretty nice. It will help actually the PA administrators and the dashboard designers not to create too many widgets. So at the moment, as you can see, we check and we can see only the top 3 assignment groups. But now, after I check the option, I have the ability to change the breakdown that I'm viewing. So I can see the top 3 priorities, okay? And the change percentage is here, as well the distribution. And this way, you can change the breakdown and you allow your end users to be able to change the widget itself to focus on the way they want to view the data. Of course, this doesn't mean that when we are showing only these 3 or X number of records, it's we do not collect the rest. So if I drill down to the indicator itself, and we will reach to the analytics hub, I will remove the score. So if you take a look at the assignment group, as you can see, we have the values for all the assignment groups. It's not that we do not collect, it's just that we do not display them because we pick up only the first 3 of them. Now let me head back. So do you have any questions regarding the breakdown widget and how easy and how nice and easy it is for the PA admins to configure such a widget?
Hey, Isaac, there's a question in the chat. If you can show the top 3 again, how you set that?
Oh, how you set the top 3 again? Yes, sure. Yes, it is out of the box. So this is the widget. So as you can see, it's a breakdown widget. And here there is a related list with the breakdown settings. There is a field called show top X, and I set it up to 3. So you can set it to 5, for example, or any number that you are interested. And once you save it, then you will be able to visualize the top 5 assignment groups in this case. Is there a limitation on how many elements can be displayed? Okay, let me take you back to the form. So as you can see here, there is the page size, which is the first page that you are displaying. Well, now I set it to 5 so that only 5 will be visible because in my use case, I had only 3. You can set it up to, okay, I'll set it to 5 and I'll say set it to show top 20 so that you can see the difference. Theoretically, there is no limitation. You can display all the breakdowns, but does it really help the end user if you give him a list of, let's say, 100 or 200 elements? And now let me just make the widget a bit bigger so that it will be visible. And okay. And as you can see, now that I set it up to 20, I do receive the first 5 in my page, and then I can move to the next page and check what happens with the rest of the assignment groups. Is there a limitation? We are currently showing what the top 3 are as of yesterday. Can you show the top 3 as of a specific date in the past?
Date selector.
Yeah, we do not have a date selector on this widget at the moment, but what we could do is you can use the analytics hub and you can navigate to that date. Let me show you. So I'll drill into the analytics hub. Okay. And from here, you can move to a different date than it is usual. Let me add the scores. And here is the assignment group. And you can have the list of the scores. And here, as Marta explained during our during our previous office hour session, you can sort by the score or by the change. Now, there is a question if there are any plans to allow show indicator option to have a description field. When there is a breakdown item used, the title can be very long and confusing. I would like to put my own label there. So indicator option. So you want to change the label of the indicator as it's being displayed on the widget itself. So you would like to have a different text here, if I understand correctly. Right, so indicator option, when there is a breakdown item used, the title can be very long and confusing. Well, at the moment, we don't have such functionality. I will let our product managers know about it. Now, regarding your question about moving back to in time and actually collecting only the top X records, that's a bit of a different use case. You can do it. This is something that was requested already. So let me, but it becomes a bit more tricky because you have to actually script your indicator source. I will show you indicator. So in theory, what you can do, you can use a function which you will be able to run a glide aggregate. It's a bit more technical, so I'm sorry for the ones that are not that technical, but using a script include or a function will give you the result that you want. And using this type of functions, you can actually filter and retrieve only the top X number of records, but this happens during the collection time. So for example, you can collect the top 5 or 10 CIs that had incidents based on the number of incidents, so the top X CIs. And what you can do is just using a function like this, you can create an indicator source. Let me navigate to indicator sources. And here, using the function that you saw earlier, I'm going to do this a bit so that it will be a bit more visible. Let me copy it. Okay, so this is the function. So in this function that I created and in the script include, what you need to pass is the table. So we're looking for CIs that had incidents. So you're saying from the incidents, I want to see how many records. This is the query that you're going to run. How many incidents that were created yesterday, if it was a daily data collection. The aggregation we want to use is count, and the field is on CMDB-CI, and 5 is the number, is the top X. So it's the top 5 records that we would like to have. This way, your data collection, it will retrieve the number of records based on the data that we have. This is a demo instance, so I'm sorry I don't have too many CIs in my data. And then if you collect on this indicator, you will be able, I think I collected earlier. Yeah, but I did not move the CIs, so most probably the line will be horizontal. Yeah, so as you can see now, I have per day the different CIs. I did not create a breakdown, but you can get the number of records and you can create a breakdown on the CI that we actually created, as we saw in the previous session that we had. To show top items by assignment group and priority both. For example, show top 10 by assignment group and priority. So how would you like to, so you're saying that you want to have the top 10 based on assignment group and priority. How would you? So you need somehow to evaluate each of the records based on the assignment group and priority. I mean, there must be some logic, right?
Hey, hi, this is Abhishek. Sorry, I thought I couldn't ask the question in the chat. So basically what I want is that, okay, you showed me top 10 assignment groups, number of incidents. Suppose that a business is only interested on a particular, like, critical priority assignment groups. So they want to just know, like, okay, these critical incidents, what are the number of open incidents, which is assigned to a particular assignment group for that critical one. So it's like basically saying group by both assignment group and priority in terms of SQL wise.
So you're actually, what you're asking is to set as a first breakdown to have the, you wanted both combinations like a pivot table to have the top X. That's what you're asking, right?
Yep, and I think so. Oh, so we have a second breakdown too. So I think so we can break down by priority, and then the second breakdown would be assignment group. And that way, I guess it should show me top X, right?
I'm not sure that you will have the option because whenever, let me show you. I think whenever you are setting up for the first breakdown, I will set priority. You have to specify an element.
Yes.
So
before you
let me set this to scorecard. So in order to move to the second level, I have to select, what did I do wrong? I'm using the wrong number of open incidents because I have it twice. I'm sorry. Let me refresh the page, it will be faster. In order to move to the second level breakdown, you need to always specify an element for the first level breakdown, right? And that is something that will limit a bit your output. So if I specify, now I selected assignment group, let me select the service desk, which had the most records. Okay, and if I update this. Yeah. So now, as you can see, they are all filtered based on the assignment group, and you are viewing now the top 5 of based on priority. And of course, assignment group is not showing in the list down here because you already used the first level of breakdowns.
Oh, okay.
Okay, at this, oh, sorry, Give me 1 second. There is a community article as well, which was written by Adam Stout, my manager. And here you will have many use cases on how you can use related list conditions, which can be used both in reporting and performance analytics. I will post this in the chat so that you will all have it and you can make use of it. Okay. So I'm not too familiar with scripting, which is good. But
so the same concept, what you showed with the TopX filter, there's some examples of that as well, using script includes and allowing you to move forward and use it as a filter option as well. So same concepts you just showed, just there's examples there that you can go to anytime.
Yeah, so everyone please navigate there and you can see the examples that were written by Adam. So thank you very much, Adam. So next question is from Mark. I'm not familiar with scripting, but would love to have a script for looking year to date for a specific assignment group for CI's top X. Is there a place that houses examples of these scripts? Well, actually you don't, well, once you collect, or if you use the community article where everything is posted and you can take a look at the scripts as well. The year to date is a functionality that was included in Madrid. So in the previous session that we had, as you can see here, we added year over year, and at the same time, you can, and now we are on the specific assignment group that we selected. And you can see I don't have the data, I'm afraid, but you can use year over year on a specific assignment group. So in your instances where you have more data for multiple years, you will be able to retrieve this value without, well, now the scripting part, it depends how you want to collect. If you, for a specific assignment group for CI's topics, yes, so by using the community and using a related list condition, you can create your indicator without a script, and here you can have your year over year analysis. Is that good, Mark? Okay, you're welcome. Can we see the top script again? Yes, you can. Give me a second, I'm pretty sure. Okay, well, the script, you can find it in the community. There is, well, it's a bit different version here, so you can make use of it. Adam wrote it, so you can copy paste it from community and you can use that if that's okay. Brian, is that okay? Did you receive the URL? Yeah, okay, perfect. Thank you, Brian. Moving to the next one. Might be a simple question. Is there a way to include performance analytics dashboard in service portal widget? Yes, there is a plugin that is installed out of the box, and you can have a performance analytics widget in service portal, not a whole dashboard. You can include specific widgets in service portal. That is something that I did not demonstrate yet during office hours, so maybe in a future session I will be able to do. I'll do that, and so that you can all make use of it, because service portal is quite powerful, and you can add widgets, not dashboards. Okay, please keep that in mind.
Hey, Isaac, I had one private message to me. I was wondering if you could cover, I think we've shown this in a previous session too. Mm-hmm. If you can show how to duplicate a particular dashboard tab as opposed to the entire dashboard, or associate the tab with multiple dashboards.
Associated tab with multiple dashboards. Yes, sure. Okay. Let's go back to dashboards. I'll just open. Okay, so this is a dashboard. So what we went through the previous, in a previous session that we had, I'm sorry, my instance is a bit slow. Okay, so we had the option to duplicate the dashboard. Okay, so this creates a duplicate of the dashboard. But I remember the question that was raised back then was how to associate one tab with multiple dashboards, right? So which was a bit easier without using the new dashboards, the responsive dashboards. We used to have a way to do it in non-responsive dashboards in the UI, but since responsive dashboards were much easier to create, that option was removed. So I'm moving now to the dashboard properties, and here we can find out the tabs. So these are the tabs associated with this specific dashboard. So there is a table, as you can see here, it is called PA dashboard, PA many-to-many dashboard tabs. Okay, so this is the table that holds all the information about which tab belongs to which dashboard. So what I was asked back then is how easy can I actually add this tab to another dashboard. As you can see here, there are multiple dashboards. So back then, the way that I demonstrated was just to create a new record here. And let me pick up the office hours, and I hope I don't have the CIs installed. I have it already. Okay, I'll pick up the coach overview, and I'm going to add it in the office hours dashboard. But yeah, but this creates a small problem because whenever you change the tab in one of your two dashboards, the changes will be replicated to the other tab. So it is a bit tricky, and you have to be very careful on using this workaround. So now that I added the dashboard, as you can see, the coach overview is now visible as a tab in my office hours. So let me go back and I'll take you through the steps again. So the table is called PA many-to-many dashboard tabs. And all you have to do, as you can see here, it's a dashboard, and on the right side is the tab. So you have to add the tabs. Please be very careful because you might, for the last 3 releases at least, we are creating our content packs in different scoped applications. And it wouldn't be nice if you start creating dashboards and you add multiple tabs from different scopes. It will be really difficult for you to transfer that dashboard from your development instance to your production instance. So be very careful that the scopes of your tabs ideally have to be on the same scope as the dashboard itself. Otherwise, your update set will give you errors when you try to commit it in your production instance or in any other test instance. Christine, how can I add new calculated fields to the resource allocation workbench? Christine, that question, you asked it last time. I'm really sorry I did not respond, but I did find out the field. The breakdown field that you found in your dashboard is not relevant to PA, although it is called the breakdown. Let me show you. So I navigate to the dictionary, and here we are going to find the breakdown allocation cost, if I remember correctly. And let me add another and column name. Cost. Yeah. Second, I'll find it. Not consuming. The label was, that's why I couldn't find it. The label was a breakdown with cost and not the name. I'm sorry about this. Label. I need to add the field in the list. And we need to exclude all the tables of PA and table underscore. I think I'll have to send you that email. Yeah, I will follow up with you offline and I will send you that email. I do have your email, Christine, and I will send you that email right after this meeting. Thank you, Abhishek. Thank you, Christine. Okay, so are there any other questions by anyone? I think we went through all of them. Yeah. Does anyone have any other questions related to PA and reporting? Of copying? Yes, I can. So what I did is that I navigated to the table where we store, where we keep the link between a tab and a dashboard. This was linking a tab with multiple dashboards, which is something that you have to be very careful, Mark, okay? So this is something you have to be very careful because you can cause problems to yourself because a change in one dashboard causes the same change in the other dashboard. So sometimes it's better to recreate something or actually make a copy of it, but you usually change something, you don't want exactly the same thing to be displayed in multiple places. So the process was once you are reaching here to the dashboard tabs and you know, for example, that you want to copy this tab, okay, you usually know the name of the tab, and you find here the dashboard. So what I did, I know that we have this office hours dashboard, and all I did is create a new dashboard and tab relationship, and then you select the office hours, which is the dashboard, and then the tab is the one that we just copied. The table name is this one, PA M2M dashboard tabs. I'll put it in the chat so that everyone can have it. Okay, now Dima, how can I put a feature request? Dima, you have to log in on Hi. On Hi, there is a way to create an enhancement request. You select a category of your request so that it will be addressed it will be sent to the appropriate product managers. And from there, our PMs will read your comments and they might contact you if they require more details. And then they will consider your enhancement request for a future release. I'm struggling to filter on all PA widgets on a dashboard. The widgets display RM story information, and I need to filter on Sprint. Okay, Dean, but well, that sounds a question. So if you want to filter based on Sprint, then why do you have your widgets on RM story? I think this is a question more or less a bit of how you implemented things and not how you, because if your widgets are on a different table, I want to show all the stories in a particular sprint. Okay, but for that you don't even need PA. You can do that with a reporting widget, and you can use interactive filters to filter on based on your sprint, and you will have the required, the desired outcome. And if you are using interactive filters, one thing that you have to keep in mind, give me a second, I will add a reporting widget. Okay, when you add a reporting widget on a dashboard and you wanted to follow the interactive filters that you might have created and or added in your dashboard, please keep in mind when you design your dashboards, you have to click on the cogwheel on the widget and you have to check the follow interactive filter. This will allow the widget to follow any changes or any selections that you did on your interactive filters. And at the same time, there is a second checkbox which says show when following a filter. What this does, as you can see here, it is adding a filter icon next to the widget so that you will know that the specific widget is actually being filtered by interactive filter. And this way you will allow your reporting widgets to be filtered with interactive filters. Which stories were added or removed during a sprint timeframe of 2 weeks? Reports, interactive filters. Okay, Dean, I think we might have to take this offline. I'm going to ping you. My email, and then we can have an offline discussion if needed, so that you can explain a bit more with the details what you're trying to achieve. Okay, I have PA admin yet, don't have access to do this. Mark, if you do not have access to create a new records on these tables, then you will have to ask your administrators to help you. Access and security is something, well, it's quite sensitive for each of our customers, and I suppose you are also quite sensitive with it, so your administrators will provide you this functionality, or worst case scenario, it will not take you more than a minute just to create a new tab and add the same widgets in your new tab.
You may need dashboard admin, which was added in London.
Yeah, but okay, that's very true, Adam. I think you referred to the list view, which you will not have access if you don't know. Yeah, I don't. You have to speak with your admins, and they will let you know which role you need, or they might have to do it for you. So it might be just a PA dashboard role that Adam just mentioned. Yeah, Catalina, the same applies to you. No, what I said is to link the tab to multiple dashboards. That's what I mentioned, not to make a copy of it. Dean, question, how can you add annotation or simple instructions to specific tabs on a dashboard? I think Adam has another community in this. So you can add content blocks. So the answer to your question, Wei, is you can use content blocks, which can be simple or dynamic HTML. And here you can write the text. You can format it as well, since it is HTML, and you can add it in the dashboard exactly like a widget, and that will actually help you to add the required text. At the same time, you have to keep in mind, for example, for PA widgets, on the upper right, on the question mark, the text that you see there is the description field of your widget. So you might want to add some information there. It's not visible. Someone needs to know to navigate there. I understand that part, but you will be able to get the same. Next one is Meet PA. I was wondering if there are any PA examples for surveys. I'd like to display surveys sent, received, and percentage of taken. Yeah, well, it depends. Janta, I'm not sure that I don't really remember if we have the content pack for the new survey tables, but either way, surveys are stored on a table where you can also create your own indicator. You have your own indicator, and you can see what exactly is in progress, how many have been sent, and how many you have received. These are the instances we need the responses, right? Yeah, these are the surveys, and these are ready to take, and these are all. Okay, so all you need, this is a Madrid instance, is to create your indicator on this table. And from here, you will be able, based on the state, to understand what has been completed and what has been canceled, how many are ready to take. So actually, and let me remove. So these are the states that I have in my own instance, which is an out-of-the-box one. So there are not many records. And if you create an indicator on your assessment instances, you will be able to get the information that you need. Christine, when you run a report with score for average duration, is there a way to show only in minutes and not hours in minutes? Report with a score for average duration. Okay, so Christine, what you are asking is to format a bit, to format the value that you are seeing based on your single score. The only formatting options that you can have in our instance, so let me create a new report. They are for duration fields. So if you navigate to our docs, okay, so I'm going to link you this docs article, which describes how you can, I'm sorry, I need to bring it to everyone. So this is the docs where you'll require admin access to change the formatting of a field. And this can be done on the on the duration fields. And your admins will be able to specify the type and how you want to view your values, okay? But with only PA admin, you will not be able to change the setting in there because the change needs to be done on the system dictionary. Can you just sample how the widget is connected to indicators to add to a dashboard? Yes. So, Christine, the first step is either you want to add a widget in a new dashboard or in an existing one. So the existing one, you just click on it. If you have access to edit it, you do the same. If otherwise, you have to create a new dashboard. I'm going to take you through this process. So you specify the owner who will have access to change the dashboard, and then you are viewing a dashboard that contains one tab. When there is only one tab in the dashboard, you do not see the option on the upper left. And then what you need to do is on the right side, as you can see, the plus icon is enabled. And here in the list, you have to specify what type of widgets you need to add to your dashboard. And you select performance analytics or reports, depends on the type of the widget that you want to add. And then here you can either filter, if you know the type of the widget, for example, that you want to add the time series, then you receive here a list of all the time series widgets. Of course, it won't be easy because the list is quite long. So while typing, you will be able to filter your results. Now, once you find the widget, you click on it, and then you see a quick overview of the widget, how it looks at the moment. And when you click add, the dashboard, the widget is added in the dashboard. Okay. So this is the process that you need to follow for any type of widget that you want to add on your dashboard. At the same time, if you would like to add another tab, you have to click on the configuration option on the upper right. And then here you have the option to create a new tab. The moment you click that, you will see that you get a new tab, which was the first tab that was created, and then a second one. At the same time, if you want to edit them, you can click the pencil icon, or you can double click, and then you can rename them to, I don't know, first tab, and you can change it. As you can see here, since I have permissions to delete them, there is also the delete tab icon. So if you don't like it, you can just delete it, and you will be returned to the previous view where you can see only one tab. So the rest are not shown. I hope this answers your question. Yeah, you're welcome. And do you have any examples of reports dashboards based off the new SLA breakdown feature released in London? I do not have in this instance at the moment. I will double check it, and in a future session, I will be able to demonstrate something based on that. Okay, I'm sorry, Shannon. Can I post a URL here? Okay, can we add links in a dashboard? Yes, you can add the links in a dashboard. It's the same way as I mentioned earlier to Way. You can create a content block widget, and then you can add them. But you have to be a bit careful with the links. It depends where you want to navigate to. I mean, you don't want to start navigating to some websites outside of ServiceNow, or to some websites that are completely relevant with your instance or the content that you want to have. But it is possible you can add a URL which will navigate you there. Christine mentioned, so you can't do per report. It would impact all reports that use this value. I'm afraid, Christine, I do not understand what you are writing there. One second. You can just send me an email with more details, then we can take it offline, Christine, and I can explain the rest. Okay. All report users. Yes, that is correct. You are right, Christine. It's the only way, unless you collect that duration in PA. And if you do collect it in PA, then in the script that we calculate the duration, you can specify. Let me show you. So here you have the option on your indicator itself. If you collect that field, you can specify that you collect minutes, and then you will be displayed the values as minutes, calculated duration with PA. That's another way, Christine, but I thought you want to report. Sorry if I misunderstood. So in PA, you can do that. In reporting, you'll have to change it so that it will affect all your reports. Okay, so you can have, you can format them in both places.
Isaac, for performance analytics, when you're showing the minutes, you have to collect in that format though, right?
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
So your script has to be hours or minutes. You can't just change it.
No, yes, because when you collect durations, it is a scripted one, It's a scripted indicator. So there you have to convert your durations to minutes, and that's when you are going to be displayed as minutes.
After if they change to hours, sure.
Just be careful if you do not change. Well, once your script is calculating minutes, then if you change your unit from here from minutes to hours, it will not change the collected values. So the script is the one that actually defines what is the value that we store, and the unit is the one that has to match what you created in your script. So these two need to be synced.
So if you do need to change it, you may want to add a new, you may want to create a new indicator and just phase it in and out so that you have the old data and the new data.
Correct. Now, if I can show adding a new content block. Yeah, okay, so I'm going to create a content block. Sorry, I did change it earlier. Yeah, just create one. And here you can write your HTML. So you can use frames, or it depends on. I'll just write some simple text, and I will show you how to add it on the dashboard. You have the option here, content blocks, and here you can select all the content blocks that exist in the instance. So, very
nice. I see in the chat there's some discussion about the content admin role. That's a real concern, that if you have content admin, you have content admin. If you do need to do something that was more tightly controlled, where you only wanted them to be able to do static, for instance, you could do some custom ACLs, as was mentioned. We also have a session at CreatorCon at Knowledge that walks through custom visualizations. And if you go there, you'd also be able to see how to build your own content block type thing that you could better control without modifying out of the box behavior. I don't have that written up yet, but that will be at Knowledge if you're interested.
Thank you, Adam. I thought there were other types of widgets that allowed you to add like a text widget, which was a free format field that allowed you to clarify the purpose of the dashboard content. Oh, you need to use content blocks at the moment, Galaxy J7. So this is the way to add text, at least for now, until we change the way we do things in dashboard.
Well, that's the content blocks are the out of the box way. That's the least amount of work that you need to do. But if you did need to do something else, there are other options that are a little too in depth to go into 5 minutes.
Moving forward, can I display a number of incidents on hold by assignment group based on the on hold region in PA? Yes, of course you can. So the on hold region is another field on the incident table, right? So when you are collecting for your number of open incidents, for example, all you need to do is just create a breakdown on the on hold region. And if you want to have a second level breakdown as an assignment group, which exists as a breakdown on the assignment group, what you need to do is to just collect the breakdown matrix, and then you will have these two. Let me check a bit the configuration on the incident for the on-hold region. Okay, so Jay, I will not have the time to take you through all the steps, but will prepare it for you. It seems, I understand you're quite new. Maybe attending our fundamentals training about PA would help you quite a lot, because this is a basic field. It's like a state field, like we are using on the state. It's a list of options. I am going to create the breakdown for a future session, and I will demonstrate it to you. I can also send you an email. If you can please send me a response in the chat message, I will write to you. If you can just send me an email, I will demonstrate it to you. Okay. And let me. I think we are almost at the top of the hour. Slowly, so I'm going to check quickly if there are more questions. It would be additional enhancement to add the text report option within operating reporting space. This would solve much of this. Yes, Shannon, it's a really nice enhancement request. I would encourage you to go on high and create actually the enhancement requests for our PMs. Thank you very much for it. And okay. What options can be used to calculate percentages without using formula indicators? For example, I need to show a single score for all tasks completed before due date, not only the count, but also the percentage. Okay, and now do you refer to, are you referring to reporting? Because if you don't refer to reporting, why would you not want to use formula indicators? It doesn't really make sense, because at the end of the day, your calculation will be just a number, right? Isn't that the right way? Yeah, so the best way to create this is using a formula indicator, because you need the total number of records and you divide them based on a breakdown on that number, which usually is the ones that were completed before due date, as you mentioned. So you create a breakdown based on that. Single score with both count and percentage. Well, a single score widget can contain one value, either the count or the percentage if the formula calculates percentage. So if you want to have both, you can add them one next to the other, or you can create a different type of widget that you can add both values in it. So you can even create a time series if you want to see it. Yes, you're correct. Yes, we don't have one single widget that you can add, single score widget that you can add multiple indicators. But for the rest of the type of widgets, you can add additional indicators at the bottom of the widget pages. You have the option of adding additional, I selected the wrong type. These are all score. So in the time series, you will have the option to add additional indicators, widget indicators, as you can see here. And I think we are almost at the top of the hour, but I just saw that there is another message coming.
Yeah, I think Ed was just adding some color to what you were showing there, Isaac. Yeah, I was going to jump in and say I think we're about out of time for questions for this session. So thanks everyone for joining. We will have our next session 2 weeks from today. So April 24th will be the next instance of this. And I also want to point out that the session after that one, so the one that would normally happen on May 8th, I think we'll be canceling because that will be happening during the week of knowledge going on. So we'll all be there helping to run those labs on a lot of these sessions. So we'll pick up again a couple weeks after the 8th. So again, we'll meet in 2 weeks on April 24th, and then we'll have a bit of a break. So hope to see everyone on the 24th. Have a good day.
Thank you very much, everyone.